Hello, awesome people! I hope you're having a great day today. Today we're taking a look at the next short story in this collection, The Unreal of Real by Ursula K. LeGuin's. It's 8 pages long, it's half the length roughly. The previous short story, which was just 15 pages, and the next one's actually 4 pages, so it's half again for you folks. It's this giant 700 plus collection for you folks. As you can see, I'm getting pretty close to the end, less than 100 pages away for you folks. This is called The Silence of the Asonu, A-S-O-N-U, or maybe Asonu or whatever, and so forth. So that is the name of the title of this short story. Unlike the previous one, it doesn't have a lot of plot to it. It's really just more of a descriptive. Here's a race of creatures that will be encountered. And here's a history of what they're doing, and here's a history of our interactions with it too. Right, for you folks, The Silence, short story for you folks. I knocked it out in roughly 15 pages last night, more like 20, because this is an oversized collection, which I'll link you to in the comments below for you folks. As a reminder, Ursula K. LeGuin is a big name in fantasy and science fiction, particularly in science fiction. She's beloved. There, she's published a lot of short stories, a lot of novels, and such in the science fiction genre, many of which are considered classics today, a few decades later. For you folks, she has gotten tons of Hugo Awards, for example, for that. And this is in the science fiction genre, sort of. It's set in the future where they have uncovered this colony of folks called the Asonu, for you folks. But then what winds up happening is, but there's not a lot of like conversation. It's not like there's a planes or ships or rays or anything like that, right? It's not like big, huge science fiction concepts, right? So it's in the science fiction genre, sure, and so forth. She's also influential fantasy too, like I mentioned before, because of her Wizard of Earthsea series, which is a junior adult series for folks like Harry Potter and such that sort of created the boy wizard that's very talented at school. Right, just like Harry Potter and later ones would sort of put it on a map in major ways for you folks. So she created that genre too. So she's also very influential in that and is beloved in that too by fantasy fans too. So let's take a look at this. Again, this 8-page short story, which might take you between 15 and 20 minutes for you to knock it out for you folks. So basically what's happening is that there is this race of creatures that are humanoid in nature like us. And they don't speak as adults except in emergencies and such like that, right? So there are a number of children that do speak, but as they grow up, they speak less and less and less, and such. So that's where the silence of the Asonu title comes from, the silence aspect of them too, right, and so forth. So because they don't speak, there's and so they're friendly, they're hospitable, they welcome people, and a lot of people feel very comfortable sort of unloading to them their stories, just like you would with a puppy or a kitten, is the example that it uses in here. Here people, they won't talk, right? Others. So you can sort of give them your unloadings and your unburdenings and so on, your confessions and such. So a lot of people will come and visit them and do that, kind of like a priest, if you will. Only priests can tell, this one can't, right? Always priest shouldn't tell, the religious aspects, right? And so forth. But it's kind of like that, right? So that's sort of what's happening. There's also a cult around them too with humans, because they have this great wisdom that we need them to teach to us, right? And so they're learning their language and such, right? Some of these cultists and so forth. So that's sort of what's been happening in our relationships with this race of creatures called the Asonu. So there you are. So that's basically what's happening. Again, it's fast. It's not a whole lot of plot, right? This happens. I mean, the only plot happened in the last couple of pages when we're really counting a story of an encounter between two people. Other than that, it's a description, right? Kind of similar to the previous one. That was mostly described in 15 pages of what's happening, and then a plot for like the last, a third, and then 2 pages to finish it up and not have any plot at all either. So it's kind of like that. So I'm probably giving this a similar rating to the previous one, like 6.5. It's definitely fine, right? And such. But so if you're interested in it, again, I'll link it to in the comments below. The silence for you folks, 6.5. Have you read this? If so, what'd you think about it? Let's talk about the comments below, and if you agree to disagree with my rating, let's talk about that too. If you enjoyed this, why not hit that subscribe button, because there's going to be a lot more to follow. Also, the channel of his name comes from the worst thing about new books is a quote by a French philosopher Jacques Joubert, who said that the worst thing about new books was that they kept us from reading the old ones, right? And someone who published decades ago and has a lot of classics in my genres that I care about is definitely someone we care about in this channel, right? Also, as a reminder, I picked up this collection because they had published a short story that won the Hugo Award that I'd never heard of before, that was supposedly heavily influential in a Star Trek Strange New Worlds episode. So I picked it up and I was like, well, I've got it. Let's go ahead and knock it out right for you folks. So there you are. I just want to thank you so much for taking some time out of your day and investing in watching my video, because we all have so many things that are happening in our lives, and we're pulled in so many different directions. So the fact that you spent this time with me, that's incredibly humbling, and I appreciate it. So thanks again, and have an amazing day.